Welcome to AP Gov. This is your first video for the year, and I would like to introduce you to some Muratisms. These are words, as I've been saying in class, that you're going to hear over and over again. However, you do have to understand what they mean in order for us to have a successful class year this year. Well, let's get started. This is a Prezi. You are watching a Prezi. This is kind of like PowerPoint. It's a presentation tool that allows us to be a little bit more creative with the information that we are trying to convey. This is Moodle. I talked a little bit in class about Moodle, and we discovered Moodle with Mrs. Bullock in the computer room on Friday. And this is our open source platform that allows us to collaborate with not only other school districts if we choose, but also with our Penn State peers on a project that we will be coming up. It also allows us to upload our documents, our e-portfolios. It gives us a whole nother virtual classroom on top of our literal classroom. This is the symbol for Google Drive, and Google Drive is another option that we have to store documents. We're going to talk about this and Google Calendar to see if this is something that we would like to do. I did mention Google Calendar in class, talk about the notifications. So after we've spent some time with Mrs. Bullock, we're going to decide, do we want Google Calendar or do we want Moodle Calendar? Grapple, I've been using that word in class a lot. We're going to grapple with a lot of things this year. We're going to take on some challenges. We're going to hopefully come up with a better end product than we had when we started because all of us work together. IDs are your vocabulary terms. We're going to talk about whether or not we want to have these be part of our e-portfolio or a separate entity. But if you don't understand the vocab, you're not going to be able to understand the content of the class, and that's just another layer of frustration that we would like to avoid. FRQs are your free response questions. On your AP test in May, there will be 4 FRQs, and we're going to spend a little bit of time dissecting FRQs and learning how to write an FRQ for AP Gov because it is a little bit different than your essays for your constructed responses for AP Euro and AP US because in AP Gov, it's short, concise, answer the question, give your examples, no thesis statements, no, he who with the most words on the page wins. So it's going to be a little bit of a frustration at the beginning, but we'll definitely nail it later. All right, send a problem. This is kind of like if you have, you're working on something, you're grappling with something in a group, and you need to send the problem to another group so that they can maybe put a different insight or a different twist on it. And it's something that allows us to work with more than one group. E-portfolio, we talked a little bit about this in class on the first day, and we're going to be spending some more time on it next week. But your e-portfolio is your main mode of assessment, and it is going to be a collection of all of your works and hopefully a collaboration at the end that makes a great resource for you to study from in May. A flipped classroom, we have talked a little bit about this in class. We're going to flip the traditional classroom where the instruction, most of it, not all of it, happens outside of the classroom, and then the reinforcement and the real learning, digging down deep and getting into some things happens in class. 3 stay, 1 strays. This is another Muratism. This is for when you're working in a group of 4, for example, and you send an ambassador, and that ambassador may go seeking help from another group. That ambassador may be an expert that helps go train another group in something. So basically, it's just 3 of you stay at the group and 1 of you elects to go and work with another group. Shout-outs, I think you know what a shout-out is, but I want to be able to get into the habit of getting shout-outs, whether it's from you or from me, to reward people for the excellence that they're doing in class. Had a great idea or a new way to do something, or you discovered something you didn't know. Great way to celebrate our learning. A wiki, I think you've probably seen this word, but in connection with Wikipedia. A wiki is a document that you're able to update on a regular basis that keeps it current versus a stagnant document. Now, the problem with Wikipedia, it might be a great place to start your research, but it's not an ending point because the great part of a wiki is that you're able to edit it. The problem with Wikipedia is that people edit it with statements that are not necessarily true or accurate. TED Talks. These are talks that experts give. This is something that is used widely in the business world and in politics, and we're going to be watching some TED Talks, and we're also going to be incorporating them into our e-portfolios, I would assume. This is an example of a Wordle. This is taking your words, vocabulary terms, whatever it is, and making them into a shape of something. I think some of you have seen this. I think you used that on your APUS shirts last year, and this is just something that you could add to your e-portfolio if you choose. All right, so there's another Wordle, and I took some of the words that we're going to be talking about and threw them into a shape that looks like the United States. And as you have seen, we're going to be talking about politics and the gray area of politics and the fact that it's not necessarily black and white, and the fact that there are politics involved in every layer of everything that we are going to talk about in everything in life. For an example, as of this Prezi and video that you're watching, Syria is an issue. Do we attack Syria? Do we, deal with the ramifications of a unilateral decision? Do we wait for a multilateral decision? The President has thrown it to Congress. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee has approved some type of retaliation, or not retaliation, but some action in Syria based on their use of chemical weapons. But there are politics involved in that. Do we get involved in this and risk being another Iraq and Afghanistan? Do we not get involved in this and watch the human suffering? So politics on all levels of everything. If you have no idea what I'm talking about in Syria, that's fine. We're going to learn tons of stuff about the politics that go on in this country, and I encourage all of you to learn more about politics, to share what you know about politics, to talk about your insight on things, and to just basically immerse yourself in this. All right, so social media and politics. One of the things that we're going to be talking about with Professor Olavsky, and one of the units that we do, is media and democracy. And with the power of social media, it is absolutely amazing how fast things are able to spread and we are able to get news. If it had not been for social media, the Arab Spring movement last year and the year before that probably would not have taken off to the point that it did, nor would it have been as widely reported and known as we know it today. So let's talk a little bit about social media. Twitter, it's a lot of news source awesomeness, if you wanted it to be. If you are following the news on Twitter, you're able to get very quick updates about what's going on. You could also, use Twitter to see what your friends are doing and who's going to practice and things like that. But for our purposes, for our Twitter page, which is APGovME, if you'd like to follow us, I retweet things from the news, I pose questions, I put, little reminders about class on there, and it's just a great way for us to get the news in a very short amount of time. The problem is you have to be following those news agencies, and you want to make sure you're following legitimate news agencies on both the left and the right. Sulia is a multimedia app that allows you to post pictures, kind of like Instagram, with videos as well. It's an emerging app. It's not quite as popular as Instagram. It's a little bit more, it's less intuitive than Instagram is, so it will take off eventually, I would assume. Facebook, we all know what Facebook is, but Facebook is another way for us to communicate and for candidates to reach out to their constituents. YouTube, this video was uploaded onto YouTube. You're able to watch videos from all around the world. You're able to access them from every access point you have, whether it is your phone, your e-reader, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, whatever it is. But YouTube is definitely going to be a very important role in us being able to function as a flipped classroom. Vine, this is a newer video app, and it enables you to put snippets of things together, and I think that we're going to probably be creating several Vines this year in our efforts to create an e-portfolio. Obviously, Instagram is the way to go for pictures and linking things to Twitter or Facebook. If you do not have an Instagram account, that is completely fine. Just talking about it, it's another way for people to share what's going on around the world. Hopefully it is used in this classroom for the betterment of our understanding of politics. This is SocialCam, and SocialCam is just another video sharing app I just wanted to make you aware of. All right, so together everyone achieves more. I was talking to you about this on the first day, that every single one of us is an expert in something, and if we put all of our expertise together, we are a much better group of people in a better community than we would be by ourselves. So I think that we need to make sure that we understand that we're all learning from one another. One of us is not necessarily smarter than the other one. If you take total knowledge into account, I'm going to be learning from you. I'm going to be asking you questions about how to do certain things. You're going to be asking me how to do certain things. So hopefully together we will come out with a better end product than we had when we started. And The end product hopefully will be a 4 or a 5 on the AP exam. We are looking forward to learning things, uncovering information, helping you have a better understanding and a working knowledge of politics, which will then hopefully equate to a 4 or a 5. But it goes back to the old adage, you get out of it what you put into it. If this is a priority and you are immersing yourself in politics, then a 4 or a 5 is definitely on your horizon. And I look forward to working with you this semester and next semester on AP Gov and learning more about your politics, your opinions, and how they relate to the world and what's going on in the world. And thank you for sharing our first video.